Taping? More taping. Hi guys, welcome to episode 45 or 46, 45 I think, of virtual Cedar Grove Global Freakin Pandemic Yoga. Today was the first day back to school here in Cedar Grove Virtual School. I feel like I have been to hell and back, walked over hot coals today. God bless the teachers. God bless Cam's teachers and all the teachers I know. This is really different. It was exhausting. It was exhausting today. So I really don't know what we're going to do yet for some yoga, but we're going to do some yoga because I need some. If your kids went back to school today, you need some. If you're just alive and living in this crazy day and age that we're in, you probably need some. So we're going to do some yoga together. And we're just going to let it organically happen and see where it takes us. Okay? So unroll your mat, lie on your back, get comfy, arms at your side, palms up, and I will give you a second to do that, and I'll meet you there. Okay? We have had to rearrange our whole living room to accommodate homeschool because each boy needed their own space, but I also wanted them to be where I could easily keep an eye on them. So Cam's in the kitchen behind a privacy barrier and Alex is in the far corner of the living room up in this little windowed area. He wanted a new comfy chair to sit in so that he was comfortable for the whole day. So we brought in a new chair, and now my living room is ridiculous looking. But if it gets us through however long they're going to be home for school, then I'm going to grin and bear it, but I don't like it. I like my rooms to look a certain way, and this is stressing me out a lot. And also, I don't know if you can see it, but here, you see this darkness right here? This is now where the dog's crate is. She's in there currently asleep, I think, and covered with a blanket. I also don't like that. Totally annoying that that is now where that is. But she loves her crate, and we're not willing to give up her crate, and I don't know where else to put her crate. So, because of the new chair, so dog crate. Okay. You're on your back, arms are out, palms are up. I hope this get together finds you to be feeling well and in good health. It's the saddest time of year for me when school starts again. I love summer. I love having my kids home for summer. It has to be a really, really bad day for me to complain about having them home from school for summer break. We had such a good summer despite everything. Maybe because of everything, we were limited in what we could do, and we just really spent so many great days at the beach, at the Jersey Shore. We saw so many things. Yesterday we were there, and you know the whale that I've been wanting to see all summer? It was there, and it breached, which means it jumped up really high out of the water and flopped back in 2 or 3 times right in front of us. And the whole beach stood up and cheered and clapped like we were at SeaWorld, and it was amazing. Well worth the wait. I'm so thankful that we were there and that we got to see it. It was pretty incredible. But we've had a lot of really cool things like that happen this summer. We had days where the water was just filled with stingrays swimming among us, and a huge amount of dolphins, like excess. So many dolphins, you couldn't believe it. Almost every time we were at the beach this summer, we saw luminescence one day. We had a pretty neat summer, so I'm sorry to see it end. I'd rather it be summer than school time. But hopefully we'll get some more beach days in before it gets too cold. We've got weekends, right? So, close your eyes. Take some nice deep breaths. It is 7:40. My house is nice and quiet right now. Cam has been bribed into being quiet and not coming in this room. He's in bed with his phone watching stupid YouTube videos right now. So that's how I got him to leave me alone. And Alex and Mike are out because Alex, if you know Alex, he's a competitive swimmer and he has been for, I don't know, almost 10 years. But he hasn't swam in 6 months competitively in a pool because of COVID. And tonight is his first night back at practice. And there's lots of rules and regulations. They're doing everything they can to keep everybody safe and healthy. Cam went back tonight too, but Cam's in an earlier group. So you drop off your kid at the front door. You can't go in and watch. They do a temperature check at the door. They ask them questions before they even get out of the car with a mask on. Everything they can to keep everybody safe and yet still give the kids a little bit of normalcy with swim practice, which for my kids is definitely a part of what makes life normal for them. So I think Alex was really nervous and really excited at the same time, and I hope it goes well for him. I had to order him a bunch of new jammers, those bike short bathing suits, because out of the 20 in his closet, a lot of them are starting to get thin in the back. That's how you check them. You stretch out the butt part, and if it looks a little sheer, it's garbage, because nobody wants that to rip open while you're up on a diving block. So we had to order a couple of new ones and get ready, and it just seemed like this day would never come. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that it goes well and that it doesn't have to shut down again. So that's why it's nice and quiet here tonight. I've got a limited amount of time, but I've got some quiet. So I think that's all my news. Close your eyes. Find your breath. Inhaling in through the nose, drawing the breath all the way down into the low belly, holding it there for a couple seconds, and then slowly exhaling it back up. Just a very conscious way to breathe, but at the same time, even though you're thinking about it, and you're thinking inhale, hold, exhale, you also want it to become organic and natural and less conscious, but at the same time, very, very conscious. Does that make sense? You just want it to become a lot more natural for you to breathe in a controlled way without thinking about it, and the only way to do that is through practice. So, I am feeling stiff. I am super, super, super tired. Pull your knees into your chest, bring your arms out into the big T with the palms up. Let your knees roll over to the right. Keep the back of the left arm grounded and rooted into the mat, into the rug, into the floor, into whatever you're lying on. And then either look straight up or look towards your left hand. I panicked a little this morning. And unfortunately, it didn't even end up being panic, but I panicked about when am I going to get to work out today if I don't do it super early, because school and swim, we've got swim every day this week for both kids at 2 different times, and then we've got back to school every day this week. And you know, it's that even though everything is different right now, it's still the same in that September is kind of a chaotic transition month where you have to get used to a whole new schedule. And so everything's different, but we're still having to do that like we would every other September. So I knew it was going to be an exhausting day. So I set my alarm for 6 so that I could get up and get out of the house, brush my teeth, wash my face, you know, use the bathroom, put on workout stuff, and get out of the house by 6:30 so that I had an hour and a half to work out outside and do what I wanted to do and do what I needed to do, and get back to the house by 8 o'clock so that I had, you know, 20 minutes to make sure that Cam was dressed and teeth were brushed and he was sitting down and having a little breakfast. My husband's home in the morning, so, you know, there was an adult here, and I knew Cam would be up and ready, but I still wanted to see it for myself. So I did that. I got up at 6. I got out by 6:30. I got home by 8. Man, am I wiped out. The problem with me doing that isn't so much getting up early. It's that I nervously anticipate that I'm going to get up that early. So I lay in bed from like 4:30 on, waiting for my alarm to go off. So as early as I'm getting up that much earlier because I'm nervously anxious about it. Doesn't help anything. It's a little bit of a cuckoo thing I have going on. Pull your knees up to center. Come on into a happy baby, or one hand on each kneecap, and let the legs go wide. I think I said this in my last video with you, but Parks and Rec is offering a new session of live outdoor yoga with me. It's starting, there's two classes. There's a Thursday evening class, which is 6:30 to 7:30, starting next Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. There's probably more of those in me. The Wednesday evening class is starting on the 16th, which is next Wednesday. It's meeting at the Panther Park softball field from 6:30 to 7:30. And this is a 10-week long session, you guys. So this is a good long chunk of time that we have to practice together. The Friday morning class will meet from 9 to 10, starting this Friday, the 11th, outside the front doors of the community center on Fairview Avenue. So, if you'd like to be outside, if you'd like to do yoga, if you'd like to do yoga with me in person, we're just finishing up a session and it went really well. I think everybody felt like we were able to maintain social distancing. We were able to spend time together but not be on top of each other. I think it was really just a nice time had by all. So the only way to register for these classes is online through the Parks and Rec website. So you're going to need to go on to Cedar Grove Recreation's website and then find the link to register for fall adult yoga classes. It's not too late, but you want to get on it pretty quick if you're going to do it. So you're still unhappy baby, right? A big one, a big hip opener. Pull the knees in, bring the arms out, palms up, drop the legs over to the left, and either look straight up or look towards your right hand. I had kind of a weird idea for a class last night, and I'm not sure if I can pull it off, so I'm trying to, I spent some time today when I was walking trying to figure out how I would do it. I'm kind of determined now to make it work, but I'm not sure how. There are quite a few poses that when I'm teaching them or demonstrating them, I say, this is a good one to do in bed in the morning, or this is a good one to do in bed before you go to sleep, or this is a good one to do when you're folding your clothes on your bed. So I was thinking that maybe I could figure out how to film a class and do all those poses on my bed so that I could show you what I was actually talking about and why they were conducive to just waking up and going right into them, or taking 20 minutes before you went to sleep, or even 2 minutes before you went to sleep, to do some quick yoga in your bed or on your bed. But I'm not sure logistically how that would work. I need to think on it a little bit more. Bring your knees up to center. Come on into one more happy baby, or one hand on either kneecap, going wide. Overall, I think my kids had a pretty good day. Camp's teacher's wonderful, and that definitely helped to make him feel less anxious and apprehensive about the whole thing. And Alex seemed to have a good day as well. It's his freshman year, so first day of high school in the living room in his new chair. Crazy, but I'll be honest, it wasn't at all emotional for me having my firstborn, my baby, go to high school, because he was here eating mint candies and drinking Crystal Light iced tea. So, you know, I didn't have to go through that trauma. All right, put your feet down, bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees drop out to the sides, keep your arms out in the big T pose. I did feel like a short order cook today. I kind of established the rule no snacks during class, because if you were in school, you wouldn't be allowed to just eat Wheat Thins, right? Or apple and peanut butter. So we're treating this like you're in class. You can have a water bottle, but you can't have snacks. So Cam went rogue and took a big seashell that we found on the beach the other day and filled it with Starlight mints and made himself a candy dish to go behind his privacy shield, because he's pretty sure that in a real office they would have a candy dish, and he's considering this to be his office. So I'm picking my battles, and I'm letting him eat himself silly on stale mints. That's just not important to me right now. I am going to turn around and lay down so that I can do a couple things with you. Oh my gosh, that feels so good. Sometimes just laying down feels so stinking good. So this is where we're at, right? Soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides. Your arms are in the big T, but why don't we take them into cactus? So from here, just bend at the elbows and bring them into more of a really big angled in the elbow position with the fingers pointing towards the wall behind you. I can feel my inner thigh muscles quivering right now. They don't want to release. They don't want to just let the pose happen. They want to resist it. And I can feel the quivering. All right, let's bring the knees up. Go wide with the feet. We're going to drop the inside of the right knee down towards the arch of the left foot. So left foot is over here. And we're going to drop the inside of the right knee down by wiggling the foot out to the side a little and just letting the leg go. You can keep the arms in cactus, which is what I prefer, or you can go back into the big T. And find your breath here. Find that unconscious but yet very controlled and organic but yet thoughtful breathing that I was talking about earlier. My skin is so dry from being at the beach so much lately. There's just not enough moisturizer in the world to help me right now, so I've been using just straight up coconut oil, and it just absorbs so quickly. It's like it was never even there. All right, let's do the counterbalance. So bring your knee up to center and drop it out to the other side. All right, knee up. Go wide with the feet again. I like to shimmy my feet out to the side a little bit before I do this so I have even more space. It sort of feels to me like when I do that, I'm creating more space in the hip socket that wasn't already there. And that just makes the pose feel like I'm getting more out of it. You don't have to do it that way, but that's what works best for me. And then you're going to drop the left knee down to the inside of the right foot. Feel this all along the front of the left thigh, the quad. Hip flexors right in the top of the hip. My hips just don't want to release today. I can feel the tension. I can feel the resistance in them. Bring it up to center. Counterbalance it by dropping it out to the opposite side. Both knees are going to come up. You're going to go wide with your feet and tower your knees in towards one another. While we're laying here, let's just incorporate a shoulder stretch. Arms are going to come up. See how I'm interlacing my fingers palm to palm? I want you to do the same thing, but I want you to do it as a twisted crisscross. So you're going to cross the left wrist over the right, palm to palm, interlace the fingers. Sorry, I have an itch. Okay, so we've got that. And then we're just going to bring our arms back and down to the ground above us. Feeling this all the way up the length of the arm. And then bringing it back up to center. And then we're going to bring it back down again. Skimming your ears as you go because you're hugging the upper arm in towards the body. Bringing it back up to center. And then one more time. Down towards the back. And bringing it up. Now we're going to crisscross the opposite direction because we want to get the same stretch that we got in the front of the left arm on the front of the right. So now we're going to cross the right over the left, palm to palm, interlace, squeeze the upper arms in, squeeze the biceps and triceps in towards the ears, and then go down, and then come up. And again, go down, and up, and one more, down, and up. Release everything, bring yourself into the cactus position one more time for just a second. We're going to do one more shoulder opener while we're down here, but we're just going to take a minute. Probably not a real minute, but you know what I mean. Okay, arms are going to come up again. The right hand is going to come to the left shoulder. Left hand is going to come to the back of the right elbow. And you're just going to push across your body so that you feel this in the back of that shoulder and a little bit up into the back of the arm. And the whole time you're breathing, you're controlled, you're relaxing, you're letting the muscles on your face relax. Now keep that arm bent. We've done this before, standing and sitting. So now we're just going to do it lying down. You're going to bring the arm to the ground behind you. Get that arm to lay flat on the ground and just weigh it down a little bit with the forearm on the left arm. All right, so now same thing. Left hand to the right shoulder, right hand to the back of the left elbow. Sweep it down to the ground above you. Weigh it down a little bit by laying your right forearm on top of the left. It's amazing. Lift up the arm for a second. Feel how effortless this feels without that little bit of weightiness. And then apply the weightiness and notice how much more intense that makes this very simple stretch. Still not a big stretch, but definitely you can feel it more when you do that. All right, we are going to make our way over onto hands and knees for some cat and cow. So either roll to your side or roll straight up, which is what I will always prefer to do. I don't know why, but it's always my option. So, okay, hands are in the front corners of your mat. And just start to move on your breath here. Inhaling, dropping the head, pressing the spine up. Exhaling, arching your back and looking up. Close your eyes and just move on your breath. I'm not going to talk you through this because I want you to go at your own pace, but I want you to move very consciously and I want you to move with deliberation, moving on your inhale and your exhale. tabletop position. My hair is kind of flyaway right now. I washed it this afternoon because it was gross. So while Cam was at lunch, meaning sitting at the kitchen table eating like a slob, I took 5 minutes and jumped in the shower really quick so that I would be clean for the rest of the day and for you guys. And I waited, you know, when you wait too long to use the hair dryer, so you kind of lost the moment, but you follow through anyway, and it's just not a good blowout. It's puffy. That's where I'm at right now. So spread your fingers nice and wide, curl your toes under if they're not, lift your hips, come on up into a downward facing dog. Heels to the floor, lengthen through the backs of your legs. Nice deep breathing here. Stretching out however you need to make this feel good in every part of your body. Right? I like to bend my knees a little. I like to lift my tailbone high. I like to press out through my knees and drop my heels to get a big stretch in the back of my legs. I like to really release through the back of my neck. Come on down onto hands and knees. And from here, I'm going to go into a wide knee child's pose. So knees come out to the sides, big toes together, forehead or chin down, arms are out long in front of you. Come on up. Let's go into our cat and cow again for a second. I've been really liking lately, the last couple weeks, using cat and cow as a transition. I'm not sure why all of a sudden that's feeling really good to me, but it's just feeling really good. Maybe I'm holding all my COVID pandemic world-changing tension in my spine, but cat and cow has been nice to me lately. So start to cat and cow again. Just a little bit this time, just a couple. No big deal. Moving through the poses, exaggerating the poses a little. Really pressing the tailbone up on the arch and dropping the head on the exhale. Let's do right leg behind us, toes curled under. Oh, my hair is in my mouth. Toes curled under, pressing into the mat, pressing out through the heel. Just kicked my table. I'm going to move up. Press out through the heel. Feel this in the back of your knee, which is just so nice because that's not an area that we focus on a lot or that we know how to access easily. Bring that knee in, same thing, opposite side. I tend to pulse a little bit when I'm doing this and sort of pull my heel in and press it out and pull my heel in and press it out. It's a tiny movement, but it just feels good to me. All right, so come on up onto your knees. Not sure how I'm going to do this with the dog crate here. What we're going to do is extend our left leg out to our side. Try to get the foot flat on the ground. My foot is flat on the ground. You can't see it, but I've got my whole bottom of the foot down on the ground. I'm going to cut myself off here, so you're just going to have to listen to me. I'm going to bring my right hand down to the floor on the outside of my hip or my knee. My left arm's going to come up and over, and I'm just reaching across the room. Breathing nice and deeply. And then coming up. We're going to keep the leg in this position. We're going to do the opposite. So we're going to slide the left hand down the side of the right leg, left leg, right arm comes up and over. And then come on back, hands and knees, for just 2 or 3 cat and cows. Like I said, we're using that as a transition pose tonight. One more. And then up. Right leg is going to come out to your side. Try to get the whole right foot flat on the ground like I asked you to with the other side, just for stability and balance, but also so you can really ground down into the ground underneath you and have more freedom to extend out with that right arm. So left hand out to your side, right arm up and over. One more big breath. Come on up. Now that right hand is going to slide down the outside of the right leg. Left arm is going to come up. Not as big of a stretch, but still a side body stretch. And you can pull out of your low back a little bit here too if you really find the length in the side. And then come on up. Hands and knees for you know what, just a couple. And from here, we are going to sit down. So if you have a blanket or a towel or something that you like to sit on just to elevate your tailbone a little bit, now's the time to grab that. Just a second. We're going to go wide-legged. You know, that's my favorite seated pose because I have tight hips and I feel like this is an effortless way to encourage them to open. We're going to mix the bowl and we're going to go left to right in a circle. Okay, so hands are going to come to the knees and you're just going to lean into the pose. Lean back, lean forward, lean sideways, lean in all the directions. I made white chicken chili in the crock pot today, which is so easy and so good, and it's better on a cold day. I just knew that I needed something everyone would eat and that would be kind of hearty since I knew they'd be super hungry after having swim again tonight for the first time. And I knew I would have leftovers, which I could stick in the freezer because before Alex goes to practice, he doesn't eat dinner, but he likes to have a high protein snack. So if I have something like that in the freezer in a little small half pint amount, it works out well. But it's beans and it's corn, and it always makes my stomach hurt a little bit. Other direction. So I was doing this way before we started yoga tonight, because this helps to move along gas bubbles. So if you're like me and you love chili and you love beans and you love black beans and you love hummus and all those things, but sometimes it makes your stomach hurt, doing something like this can really help and be very effectual in moving along that discomfort, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, come on back to center. Come on down. It feels like it's getting more humid. Come on down to the center. Just forward bend here to wherever you're comfortable. Lengthening out through the crown of the head and the spine, not melting the forehead towards the mat, but rather melting the heart towards the mat. Walk your hands over to the right and just take a little stretch here. Not a big one, just a pull, you know, in the shoulder and the low back. And go ahead over towards the left, same thing. Come on up to center. Let's just do some circles with our wrists. See if we can get any kind of cracks. Trying to hear. Going the other, oh, I just got one. Going the other direction. Let's pull back our fingers a little, press out through the heel of the palm. Same thing on the other side. And then let's just sit nice and tall on our sit bones, reaching up through the crown of the head. We're just going to bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, lengthening everything down the left side of the neck. Roll the head back. Left ear to left shoulder. I almost always get a crack when I do that slow roll in the back. Nothing this time. I think I can get one. We're going to do it again. Roll it back. Roll it again. Where is it? I'm always up for a crack there. Right? Oh, I just got it. I knew it was there. I knew it was bubbling in there. All right. So, lie down on your backs. Sweet and simple tonight. Lie on your backs. Bring your legs out long in front of you. Bring your arms to your sides with your palms up. And close your eyes. I think what we will do on Saturday is work on some sun salutations. We haven't done that in a while. So we're going to play with sun salutations a little bit Saturday, which will get us up, get us moving a little bit faster paced, a little bit more direction, but I will do my best to zip my mouth. But we'll get up and we'll move a little bit. And that's a Saturday morning class, so I don't know, that feels like a faster time for yoga. So this was slower, like I said, short but sweet. I hope this was what you needed. I hope it feels good. Any kind of yoga always feels good to me. Sometimes I want to do something more or something different, and sometimes I'm really hoping the teacher takes it easy and does more therapeutic like we did tonight. But no matter what we do, even if my head is not in it at the moment of starting, it always feels good to me, and I'm always thankful that I took the time to practice. So I hope you feel that way too. If you're new to me or you're newer to yoga, every class is a little bit differently, is taught a little differently. Some of them are very thought through and planned. Some of them are much more organic and just happens spur of the moment, which is what this was tonight, a mixed bag a little bit. But hopefully they always feel good and you always leave feeling better than when you unrolled your mouth. So we're going to just take a minute or two to be quiet. Close your eyes, let your mind wander here. Notice your breath as it stills and becomes a little bit slower and a little bit more relaxed. And take note of your body and how your body's feeling as you're lying here and feeling hopefully heavier and more connected to yourself and to your surroundings, a little heavier into the ground. I know that sounds hokey, but that's a real thing, right? I know for me, sometimes when a class starts, I feel a little bit disjointed. And by the time class ends, everything feels like it's fitting together really nice, and I'm put together a little bit better. And sometimes I don't know how to explain it right, but that's what I mean. She's been so quiet. She doesn't usually go into her crate until bedtime, so I'm wondering if she thinks it's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm afraid to lift the blanket and look at her because either she'll be staring at me and she'll go nuts, or she'll be sound asleep and I'll have woken her, which I don't want to do either. So I think when I'm done with this, I'm going to very quietly and carefully open the gates and lift the blanket, and then if she wants to come out, she can. And if she wants to continue to nap, she can. That would be my choice. Take another breath or two. And then when you are ready, either make your way over to your right hand side and push up to a comfortable seated position, or hug your knees in and roll all the way up. We're going to close with the same word we close with every time, namaste, which means that which is divine in me honors and bows to that which is divine in you. It's just a very traditional yoga greeting when you're coming, when you're going. Typically here in the East, we say it towards the end of class. So hands come to your heart in prayer. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale the breath. Inhale. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me for another class, another virtual class of yoga, Cedar Grove Yoga, brought to you courtesy of the Cedar Grove Library, which is open for business in a somewhat limited capacity, but you can still get books, and that's really all I care about because I love to read. So if you haven't gotten any, or you're missing the library, know that you can go there and get some books out and thank them for bringing you some yoga. Have a great rest of the week. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay sane. Do whatever you need to stay sane. And I will see you again in a couple of days. Okay? Take care, guys. Thank you.